full issue is whether Nigeria is corrupt. Well, like I did say in another forum, we have to define what we mean by Nigeria. Today, Obasanjo is Nigeria. The way, people in government want to, present it. If the budget is to be presented early, it is not the duty of the Minister of Finance. But because President Obasanjo said twice that the budget should be presented early, so there's no need for the Minister of Finance to think. If the National Assembly enacts a law, it is because the President, in his wisdom, was able to use his lieutenants to get the National Assembly to do a good job. So that is a personalization of governance, which is one of the greatest pain of this country. So how do we solve the problem of corruption? I will probably look at, because we have agreed that poverty is at the root. Anything beyond poverty could come to greed, because some people feed on corruption because of the need to acquire more than the basic needs. Like people say, Abacha was corrupt. I would, in fact, think in the light of what is happening, that Abacha probably was keeping the money away from those corrupt Nigerians. People say that Abacha was not very smart. He probably kept this thing in his private account because he knew that the itchy fingers of the public officials could directly get to the central bank. That's another dimension. I can't prove it. But in the light of what is happening now, I am wont to look at that angle. The government is corrupt, and it is not possible for the leg to rotten when the head that is supposed to control the leg is not having some signals coming from the leg. Sooner than later, if it pretends that it is paid, it will catch up with it too. So what the government should stop deceiving Nigerians. No better. The average Nigerian is not necessarily corrupt, but there is a corruptogenic environment. Our responses to it are different. That's why, Yori, I know you, a gentleman. Ordinarily, you wouldn't want to tell a policeman, let's settle. You don't want to do what not to have been done. But the police can stop you and look at your head, and if it's fat enough, he will just create one offense and ask you for the paper of your car for the past 10 years. And that is a problem you have entered into. So if you get to the DPO, the DPO says, that's my boss. So in essence, we have to find a way to address the issue of poverty. We're not doing it now. And if we don't do it now, it will catch up with all those old people in government. 10, 15 years from now, some of them whose lives may have expired, we'll get them back to account for what they have done, or we do the Jerry Rawlings way. It will come to this country. It can only be delayed, but it cannot be denied. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling, Emmanuel. Well, now, that perspective, that goes back to what you were saying earlier, and that the issue of poverty. Of course, you have been criticized by one or two callers for being far too diplomatic. That should just be in the foreign service, if the most diplomacy you want to talk. But Koro talk, Nigeria, it's been said. But yes, as you said, it's not so much the entity Nigeria, but the whole society, and Alero, you had made that point earlier. You don't have a choice than to, because of the way the system is.
Okay, seeing as we don't have a choice then, how do we deal with it? How effective have the ICPC and the EFCC and all these other trappings, how effective have they been in fighting corruption in the nation?
That's something to think about, but let's not delay this caller. That's something to think about. Let's not delay this caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on air now. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, I just want to be brief. I know we are discussing corruption, but don't let us deceive ourselves at all. There is no doubt that the second name of Nigeria is corruption. From the top to the last man on the ladder. Look, how else do you describe corruption when your president is using his own position to acquire university, having run down all the public universities by not funding them adequately? How do you, the vice president has acquired one, they are not distributing universities to themselves. Why they are in government? Do they think we are overrun? Don't people see these things have brought, and the president used his own name, his own mouth, to announce it to the whole world that he has acquired the university. that is not corruption, what is it?
Okay.
Then when you look at our refineries, they run it down only to be distributing licenses to import oil to themselves. What is that one, if it is not corruption? And it's now asking us, Nigerians, poor Nigerians, to pay for running down the refinery and asking Nigerians to finance the importation of refined products when we are even repeating excess crude oil money. I mean, what if it is not, look, they just sit down in Nassau Road and they think we are still in the 60s, where they have the monopoly of communication to Nigerians through the NTA. They sit down there and still defend indefensible by saying, no, transparency is not fair on us. They did not take off. Look, we all see this in daily. All the mansions, even the Niger Delta issue is a form of corruption. How do you slap people taking oil from their own territory and use it to erect all the luxurious mansions in Abuja and ask them to be living in squalor? And you say you are not corrupt. Look, let us stop deceiving ourselves. When I hear Obasanjo is not corrupt, but people surround him, I want to book.
Okay. I think we got your drift. Thank you very much for your call, Kunle. Thank you very much. Well, I don't know. There you are.
Okay, we're talking about solutions.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to strongly counter we should attempt to build institutions. When our people commit crime, we expect that the judicial system, the judicial institution
will be allowed to work. And that examples will be made.
Examples should be made.
Okay, but we haven't seen any of we haven't seen much of that. In fact, any of that.
In fact, in those days, it is, it was said that if you're caught stealing, you are stigmatized. Your children, your grandchildren, forever not forgive you. But nowadays, if you're in government and you come out more penurious, you will say you were a stupid person. Our value system have collapsed. So until we attempt to restore that, when people steal and they are made to pay the penalty, people we won't change. People steal because it's fashionable. You leave government, you want to retire into opulence. There is a case of the former Senate president who, before he got into office, he was described as being very poor. But in a space of few months, he had a palace, so to speak, in his hometown. And he left government, he has retired there now. He goes around the country now giving lectures.
And you don't care to
and
name...
he had millions. People don't ask
you being the diplomat, you don't care to name this particular former Senate president.
I'm a journalist.
Now, you see, we are looking at this issue, rubbing minds on it, people are calling in. We don't have anybody from the authorities, to speak for them. But we have heard in the past from them that people simply don't understand or appreciate what government is doing to fight this thing. In fact, I think it is Dr. Obi Okwesili that is going around now explaining due process, the Office of Due Process, and how much money it is saving that would otherwise have been lost. And people in government, well, not people in government, the authorities who are at the forefront of this anti-corruption battle are saying that we are not sufficiently appreciative of the monumental efforts that are going on to fight this scourge. It would appear most Nigerians think that those in authorities, those in government are simply just lying back, sitting back and just at least looking the other way. But they are saying it is not so. That is what the authorities have always said, remember? Yeah. But I just thought one should put that we have heard from the authorities, but they are saying that we don't understand the issues involved. We don't understand the ways in which this is being fought. We don't understand that there are structures, underground work that is going on now that will fight corruption. In fact, part of it, I think, is part of this whole deregulation of the downstream sector and all of that. So that's where why the president came out the other day and said that these things were being done in love. That it was being done in love, and that later on, people would come to appreciate it.
We will thank him for it.
And thank him for it. I don't know what you guys think about it, because I don't know why you were smiling. When I see some things, and people will be smiling. I don't know why you were smiling about that. I was being reportorial, wasn't I? I was being reportorial.
Please confirm.
No, I was being reportorial. I reported what the president said, that what was being done in love. It's just that people were not appreciating the love now.
I think even for the past 5 months that has been going on, I think our oil windfall has been mismanaged, because we had our refineries working. We would have made more money, much more money, and that would have been able to take care of the Niger Delta and directly. Government doesn't have to give the governors any money. You can just go there and say, develop Abuja. You can go to Niger Delta and develop the place directly without giving the money, extra money to any governor.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to round up on this issue, but what I think we all agree on is the fact that if we're going to fight corruption, if we're going to eradicate corruption, then we've got to fight the problem of poverty.
Yes,
Once poverty is dealt a death blow, you know, it might not have died, but once it has been dealt a lethal blow, then we can begin to see corruption wobbling. But as Emmanuel pointed out, this fear of poverty will drive people in all sorts of inordinate ways, and in trying. Look, I listened to, I read the words of some 3 women were caught by NDLEA, you know, and they were asked, why were you doing this? And she said, because I have to take care of my 6 people. A woman that had been jailed 1 year in Pakistan, coming back to Nigeria, being repatriated from having served her sentence, ingested, I think it was cocaine. And they said, why did you do that? You just come out of a jail sentence, you're coming back home. He said, because I've been away for 1 year. I didn't want to go back into squalor and poverty again. After being away for 1 year, my people have suffered. Let them at least come out with some sort of relief and succor by her thinking. So she went back into crime. That probably is symptomatic of, is indicative of the thinking of far too many Nigerians. And I don't know how our thinking is going to change, but I know it has to start, as you have alluded to, by fighting poverty. We're going to have to leave it here for now. It's a subject that, you know, we could go on and on and on about on Sunrise. How corrupt is Nigeria? The general opinion from all those that have called in has been that it is at least some way corrupt, and some people have said very corrupt. So it's anywhere...
Quite.
And it's quite corrupt. So any way you look at it, unfortunately, we ourselves, never mind Transparency International, are agreeing that when it comes to the matter of corruption, Nigeria is not allowed to absent itself from the room. So it's just that we didn't know how corrupt we were relative to all other countries in the world. It took an organization like Transparency International to now situate it that actually you're served from the bottom, you know. So there you are. Thank you very much, Louis. Louis Odion is the editor of The Sun on Sunday, and Mr. Adebayo Adeolu is a political scientist and social commentator. Thank you guys for coming on and airing your views on corruption. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.